Now, the more I read this, the more I wonder, this is the reason why Black Cat sort of gaslight you to buy all his stuff of the book of How to Be Evil or the manual of being evil by Black Cat. It's the fact he not just owns basically the organization of villainous, but he also owns peace. And that's something that just intrigued me. Of course, before I go crazy and break down my theory why I do believe this, my name is Rachel. I like to talk about animation, not just animation, do reviews, first impressions, cartoon theories, and sometimes, if I have some spare time, cartoon breaking news. Of course, if you like how it's going, you like to help my channel, you need just to do put like, comment, and subscribe. That's the only thing you need to do. If not, that's fine too. If you do, thank you, because of you, I am getting close to my main goal of 2,000 subscribers. And yes, I am getting close every single day thanks to all the people who like, comment, and share. And now let's go to the theory that Black Hat owns both organizations of villainous and peace. Now let's get started. All this time, the whole main leads never call out peace. They maybe say sort of a organization is just brand new. They briefly just talk about it. But this is the first time of this book of any other lore they just trash talk peace, but it also says they just waste the money. They do not make money creating hero. They keep losing it. And that just sort of interesting, but yet it sort of does make sense for two obvious reasons. One, it's a hero organization. Of course, they're not the whole point of being a hero is tempted to not make money. It's more like an unselfish thing. But two, the only major reason why they fairly money is because they have a purpose. One, this purpose is actually give reason to the villains to fight the heroes, so they can buy more stuff from Black Cat. That means the only way that exists is Black Cat actually owns peace. And that's something that he keep it a secret so he can keep getting money from his own, especially customers. And that is a very strong possibility, and that actually kind of makes sense if you believe Black Cat allows having peace exist in the first place, because he is possibly the most powerful being of the whole world or universe, but yet he allows peace to exist. Even that it could be a threat to him in the near future, and to figure out who is Black Cat and what he weakness, if you believe a Black Cat has any weakness at all. And that's just sort of interesting because it makes sense the more you keep reading this book, because this book is just so fascinating, because each simple chapter has a specific goal to explain how you get henchmen, how you become evil, how to actually buy your own basically lair or assistance or costumes, even that find your own henchmen. And that's the interesting part, because there's one specific page that you see Humiko using a app from Black Cat that allows you to find your own rival slash hero fighting against him, and you want Black Cat wants you to be obsessed with them. It even describes the feeling how the some of the villains hate the heroes, but almost this toxic relationship. The more toxic, the more they spent to actually get more stuff from Black Cat. And that's what I mean. It just sort of makes sense if Black Cat owns peace, because in this book, kind of slightly do explain that peace doesn't really make money. And that is just sort of weird, because the other stuff of villainous never goes deep dive into peace. They only say there's been a couple of years, but they never describe how many years. You mean a 5, 10 years, 20 years? They don't really have a specific number, but yet in the book of the Diary of Dementia and the login book of Dr. Flood, one of the pitches says they find some strange dialogue in around the world, but sort of connected to peace, maybe because they have the same dialogue. It's just sort of strange that it seems peace actually is older what it actually seems. And that's the thing. That's the piece I'm connecting to Ashley Villainous. Because this is this book. It actually tells you that Black Cat owns both of them. He needs peace to sell his product. He wants to lose money so he get money to run his own business. And that actually makes sense. But some of you says that's impossible because in the book How to Be Evil, or the manual of book, it's one of those rules, and it says you cannot work with heroes. It was, I think, rule number 3 or rule number 4. I'm not sure which number it was, but it's one of those top rules that Black Cat forces you to sign a paper to understand. If you break one of these rules, you'll be eliminated. And you've seen Porcini, or the second spin-off comic of High Risk, one of the main villains in that book, Porcini, broke one of those rules behind Black Cat back because he was one of the members of Villainous. And he got bestly punished breaking that specific rule and jumping a different team of peace. And that's what I mean. Why he's so strict about this. I mean, you understand he hates positivity. He hates heroes. He is into just pure chaos, but he's into more money. And that just makes sense to me. I mean, it makes sense he makes this organization to help him to sell his products, because it's sort of strange. He wants you to actually use this app to find your own hero or rival to take down. It also makes completely strange how each character, their interview of Phenobra and Dark Shadow Jr., talks about their rivals or villains, a very sexual but yet toxic relationship. It's just sort of kind of strange, and yet I mean sort of straight and also gay, because how Dark Phantom Jr. talks about his hero, how he's obsessed with it. You have this sort of weird feeling about him that you hate him, but you are obsessed with him, and that's sort of toxic relationship. And that is just sort of kind of interesting, because when you find this app, you uses it, you allows you to buy more stuff from Black Cat. But on top of this, making it kind of interesting that not a lot of villains actually uses it, or they do use this app, doesn't really help them, that they can find the one. Like this sort of weird dating app that it forces you to essentially assess the specific hero. But that's also mean a second question. If this app is supposed to help villains to find their heroes, that means Peace has his own version of this app to find their villains. At least if this joke is kind of more true to actually just being a joke. Because remember, the How to Be Evil manual by Black Cat is just a joke book. It's all about jokes. Because every single chapter they make a funny reference or a joke or something that out of left field that kind of makes sense. And I think this is the reason why this book is just so great, because you don't really expect it. But besides that, it kind of makes sense that Peace has his own app to find their own villains, or at least a sort of version of it that is maybe not supposed to be a dating app or just locating different villains to have to take down. But at the same time, remember, Peace does have a sort of kind of own system to select heroes, to select their own bestie towns so they can actually defeat and protect. Because of the mini-series, of all the small comics they do in some of the books, in a little bit of Miss Heat's own Instagram account and Twitter account, they do leak a little bit of information that Peace actually has a system they just don't explain, but you have the idea for this sort of sneak peek, because they have sort of competition or sort of places to sell the hero so they can protect him and also sell their merch to compare to Miss Seed, because she is a merch machine. Everything she sells, anything she has, people want, because they want to be like the heroine, that sort of positivity who wants to save everyone. Even that is sort of a lie, but also kind of built as sort of like a toxic kind of thing, because Miss Heat is not a good person. She is the example of a person attempted to just manipulate people to feed their own ego and get a lot of money. He also manipulated people to get away because she's just a very nice person and very beautiful woman. How dare I abuse another man? I mean, once more, it's sort of the running scheme of the whole realistic life, kind of tilting in the artistic sort of storyline. But because it's sort of real and true, that kind of makes sense that fits in this sort of universe. Yeah, I thought that sort of kind of fascinating because if you dive even more, the little sneak peeks of all the different books, comic books, and the animated series, and also online, do you do understand they are not probably a very good organization, even they actually pretend to be good, because they had Sunblast attempting to take down Phenomena. Even Sunblast was sort of egotistical and also hate nerds. I mean, extremely hate them. We don't know why. Even the first book of Villainous, Small Rescue, don't go deep dive the reason why. It just sort of has this sort of bubble that he sort of bursts and realize maybe he was wrong. But he never really give you the reason why he thinks this. And that's just sort of interesting. Maybe because they waiting or figuring out how to execute that in the next book or next couple of episodes or the next character we'll follow, because there will be new characters coming soon. For right now, we have to wait to see what happened. Especially that spin-off series that Alan mentioned that he can't really talk about it will come out several years, whatever that spin-off really is. But besides that, that's sort of my theory in other words, because everything kind of does make sense if Black Cat owns peace, because he want to sell his own product. More problems, more villains tempted to actually sell. Even that, how this book described back in the day, heroes were kind of more violent or just kill because you're different. It almost sounds like he's a tragic villain than anything else. Even he trying to explain the history, even that he is evil, he prefer be violent and destruction because it make him happy, but feels he sort of misinterpreted why he was help other people, or he knows something even more that he just chooses not to explain. Because the more you read this, the more it sounds more personal than anything else, or you just feels, according to the book, that he feels the heroes is just too high and mighty. And that's kind of true because in the comic book world in DC and Marvel, a lot of people don't like Pacific heroes like one of the Green Lanterns or Superman because they feel they're kind of high and mighty when they have the power and then chose to do honest things, but yeah, you kind of question the honest things they actually do. But also depends on the writer. You get the idea, and that's just sort of maybe a part of the course or a criticism of heroes. But once again, it's just sort of interesting how this book sort of develops, and that's sort of, I think that's all I can say for right now because I want to say more, but this book is just sort of so interesting, but so sometimes sort of hard to really break down and make it more interesting videos because there's other YouTubers, specifically in Mexico, struggle to actually break down certain things about this book. I've seen some people just basically do the whole video chapter by chapter, reading the chapters online in Spanish. And they just, you hear it, it's interesting, but at the same time, how they sound doesn't grab your attention. But once more, the book is just so interesting that, yeah, you want to do that. Or I maybe do that or do something else, or just break down little things like this. If you like this, I'll probably do more like this. But that, what's your opinion? Do you believe Black Cat is sort of the owner of peace? Or maybe he has a tragic backstory? Even that, understand, he's not human, he's from outer space. Just once more, it's just food for thought, or could be another theory, I just don't know. What do you think about this? Type it down below, let me know. And I got anything else to say, just thank you for watching, don't forget to subscribe, and have a wonderful day. Bye.